Hello and welcome to New Filmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Movie Maker magazine. My name is Danny DeLillo. We're here at the South Park Center. I'm delighted to be joined with the very talented Melika with her movie, When I Grow Up. Let's take a look at the clip. Melika, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Seriously, thank you for, well, firstly, welcome to the New Filmmakers family. Very nice to have you part of our alumni now as well. But well done for making a film, When I Grow Up. It's always amazing when you make such a short film, so impactful and powerful. I'm still thinking about the film that you made. But tell us, for those that haven't seen it, a brief synopsis.
Yeah, so it's about this Middle Eastern girl that's watching these kids on TV, writing out their future hopes and dreams, and she wants to figure out what it is that she wants to do when she grows up. But not only does she not get to have the same opportunities as these kids because of her gender, but even simply growing up and reaching adulthood can be uncertain for her because of how many kids are killed by the oppressive forces and the conflict in the region. And the film is called When I Grow Up because that's the sentence she's writing, which is left unfinished because you don't know if she'll even get to grow up.
It's such a clever story because anyone that's been a child or even today as an adult, you know, has hopefully had a chance to write that line, when I grow up, I want to be ... And the way you articulated that story with these like young actors and then articulated that to the truth of what was happening was so powerful, because I think you made everyone just stop and think and really understand, like you just got us in a second. I know this is obviously inspired by truth, but when was that moment for you where you decided to turn this idea into a film, and then how did that develop to how you wanted to tell the story as well?
Yeah, so it was inspired by a lot of recent tragic events and also my own childhood. You know, growing up in Iran, I always used to watch a lot of American films and dream of having the life and dream of having the life and the freedoms that the kids in those films had. But as a girl living in the Middle East, there are so many limitations on you. And while I was lucky enough to make it here, I know so many of them don't get this opportunity, and I know that they shouldn't have to, you know, move across the world to have a future. So I wanted to make a film to be a voice for them.
Yeah, that's so impactful, and that's so powerful. Now, you know, directing this film, amazing job, obviously amazing writing as well. How did you go about bringing your cast together? Because they had a big role to play.
Yeah, I got really lucky to work with an amazing group of kids, especially my main characters that were played by two sisters, Sarah and Alma Libde, who really reminded me of me and my sister when we were little. And they did such an amazing job, even though there's no dialogue in the film. You could really see the emotions through their eyes, and I honestly couldn't have asked for a better cast.
That's what, and then capture it in that, and then also with all the research and how you captured the rest of the film through articles and things like that. How did you work that all that? Because it was really powerful the way it was shot, really clever.
Yeah, so it was a lot of, you know, personal experience and just things from the news that I knew, and the process of it was a little unique because I didn't have a crew. So, you know, I wasn't just directing, I was doing cinematography and lighting and pushing a dolly while holding focus at the same time.
Wow.
And also building the set, which was its own unique experience.
Yeah.
And it was also a lot of improvising, but overall it was a really great experience.
So you did everything?
Yeah.
That's amazing, my goodness. So how was it, you know, again, I always admire when someone shares something so personal and then it becomes like this universal story. I'm just curious because, you know, you have a very powerful voice anyway, out there as well in all the many different social platforms. And I think that's such an important thing to have, and you play a very idealistic role as well, just in society. What did you want your audience, because you've already got such a wonderfully built-in audience, what did you want your audience to take from your film?
Yeah, I really wanted them to understand the struggles that these kids go through and how they're deprived of the most basic freedoms, and for the people that do have those freedoms to not take it for granted, and also to be able to empathize with these kids and start discussions about these important social issues and help in any way they can.
Yeah, absolutely. You certainly did that. How has it been for you, taking this into film festivals, taking it on the road? Like, what's the reaction been like?
Yeah, it's been amazing. I made this film to share an important story that's unfortunately true for a lot of kids. And I think it's really rewarding to seeing an audience engage with it and empathize with the characters. And I think it's really times like this that you can really see how storytelling can be used as a tool for social change and how impactful it can be. So it's been really great having the privilege of showing it at all these festivals.
Yeah, and we're so fortunate in California to have such a strong, impactful Iranian community as well, which must be really special just within the community to be able to make a film like this and celebrate with many other Iranians that live like in California as well. Has that been really nice to share as well together?
Yeah, definitely. It's something that really brings us together, and I think for a lot of people, it's their experience too growing up, so it really hits home, and a lot of people resonate with the story.
No, most definitely. I just think the way that you tell a story, like I won't forget your film, and I think it really inspires for people to kind of learn and discover more, because these things are actually happening. It's actually very, very serious, and it's so sad because there's so many beautiful parts to Iran and the community, but there's unnecessary suffering as well. And like, just to bridge to people that maybe haven't heard about these things, what impact did you kind of want to have other people to sort of experience that don't know about this? Because there's so many ways in which we can get involved and be educated about what's going on and how we can support.
I think kind of similar to the other question that, I hope the more people can really see the struggles and how it's even the most basic things that these kids don't have. And I really hope that they can really grasp this, because I know it's sometimes harder to really see what people are going through if you don't. When you hear it through the news, it's something, but I feel like when you see it visually, it clicks better.
Absolutely. And that's the power of film as well. Yeah. That's the power of film. And it was so wonderful to watch your film, Melika, in the auditorium, and I was listening and watching people's reactions as I was up in the sound booth, and I was like, it was amazing how you've affected people, and you've, if they didn't know already, they're learning something now, and the way you told the story. Now, this is also a surprise to me. It's like your first film, right? It's like, yeah. I'm like, what? I don't believe you. So I'm very excited for more of your writing, directing. What are you going to be working on next?
Yeah, I'm currently in post-production for another film I directed, this time with a crew, an amazing crew. And this one explores themes of PTSD after war and how the aftermath of that can look like, because I think a lot of times people focus on the main events, which are obviously more important, but I think a lot of times they look past the aftermath of it and the invisible scars it leaves on people for so long after. And I think it's another important topic to be talked about and explored through film.
That's amazing. I'm really ready for that, and that is, again, such a really important subject. We don't look at the aftermath, the PTSD that comes from people that have gone through war in their own spaces, their own countries, their communities. So I'm so excited that you're bringing that to light as well. I'm very glad you're a filmmaker, Melika. This is really good. Having made your first film and experiencing that, and for other filmmakers that are like, oh my goodness, Melika can do it, I wish I could do it. Like, what kind of advice do you have out there for anyone that wants to kind of follow in your footsteps?
I would just say, just go for it, because like, I didn't have a crew, I didn't have a location, I just had to, I was improvising and doing all of it on my own. I procrastinated for so long, being like, I need to get this and this and this first, but I think sometimes you just gotta try it, and you never know unless you do it.
That's amazing. Well, listen, thank you so much for this film. I'm ready for the next one, but thank you very much, and welcome to the New Filmmakers LA family.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you, Melika.